Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So, jumping right in, I am taking my iconic London palette. I know my palette's a little bit dirty, but that's because my dumbass accidentally spilled some candle wax on it. It was just sitting there and I tipped it over and it fell over like most of the palettes that were sitting right there. So, if if you see any of those palettes in the future, then you know why. But we are just taking that bronze beige shade and we are using that as our transition today. And I am taking that on a Luxie brush. It's like a tapered blending brush. The bristles are very soft, so it doesn't irritate your eye, and that's what I like about Luxie. And I did get this brush in a set of 5. It's the Luxie Wonderlust. It does come with like a small little makeup bag, and it's really cute actually. It feels very high quality and it fits all the brushes in there perfectly. So if you're interested, I would definitely recommend this brush set. So moving on, we are going to be taking the smaller tapered blending brush, and we are going to be taking the shade Taupe de Taupe. I think that's how you say it. I'm not really sure, but we're going to be taking that shade, and our main focus is going to be like the outer corner and the crease area. And we are just going to be blending the transition shade in with that like darker brown shade just to give it more definition. So while we are blending that shade out, I do want to explain that the next couple of videos are going to be voiceovers. Videos I just wanted to listen to music, so that's pretty much all. And I don't want to get copyrighted for, inserting the music. But hopefully I will be back to just sitting down and talking with y'all, because I do enjoy that a lot more than doing these voiceovers. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Now we are going to be taking that fluffier blending brush that we use for our transition shade, and I did add more of that peaches and cream, and we are going to be blending those two shades out together just so that we don't have any harsh edges. Taking that bronze beige shade, it's like a shimmer, like a gold shimmer shade, and we are going to be taking that on the pointer finger, and we are just going to be placing that onto the eyelid. I personally like applying shimmer shades with my finger because I do feel like they apply a lot better, but it also depends on the palette as well. Or I'll even spray it with a little bit of setting spray, and it'll just intensify it a lot more and kind of like activate the shimmer or the glitter that is in there. It's the eye for me while showing the brush. But taking that flat-ended brush, we are going to be taking the same shimmer shade, and we're just going to be placing that more in the inner corner, only because with the finger you can't really like get into the inner corners as much. So I do prefer taking a brush into that inner corner. Taking Deep Soul, it's like a brown chocolatey shade. We're going to be taking that on another Luxie brush, but this is part of the Rose Gold collection. It's a small tapered blending brush, and we are just going to be focusing that on the outer corner and on the crease, just to darken up the outer corner a little bit more since we are going for that fall look. So taking that same large eye blending brush that we used in the beginning, we are going to be taking Peaches and Cream, and we're just going to be blending everything all out just so that there are no harsh edges. Taking my e.l.f. liquid eyeliner in Jet Black, we are just going to be creating a wing. And I usually try to do my wings very thin just because I don't like it like very thick. And I'm just starting from the middle and then working my way out. And when I draw my wing, I try to line it up with like the bottom lash line, and then once that is done, I will continue creating my wing. Then I'll fill it in and adjust it to my liking. If it's too thin, then I'll definitely like add a little bit more just so it's a little bit thicker, but not too thick because like I said before, I don't like my eyeliner too thick. So on to my favorite part of my makeup routine, we are going to be taking the L'Oreal Lash, our Voluminous Lash Paradise, and we are going to be voluminizing these lashes. And this has been my favorite mascara for I don't know how long, and I don't know what L'Oreal has done to this, but it makes my lashes look so full and so nice, and it just makes me feel more confident about not wearing any like lashes or falsies. So I do really like this formula. It doesn't make your lashes clump up, or it doesn't leave them like, you know, how some mascaras can be, like it looks like too much. This mascara doesn't really do that, so that's why I really like it. And the applicator as well, the the bristles on this brush just make it so easy to just comb through them. So shout out to L'Oreal for doing their thing, because they really did do their thing on this mascara. But if you're more of like a luxurious type and want something different and want to spend more coins, then I would definitely go for the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Moving on to lashes, we are going to be taking Sassy 3D Foam Ink Lashes in the style Flirty. And we're just going to be taking the Eyelure Lash Glue, and we're going to be using that to glue on these lashes. This glue is so bomb. Like, I've only tried one other glue. I can't remember what other lash brand it was, but this is the second one I've been using, and I don't think I'm gonna be switching anytime soon because that's how good this lash glue is. It's literally like super glue for your lashes. Ooh, I'm already feeling myself, and I'm not even done with the whole look yet. So before going in with my foundation, I am going to be taking my 16-hour e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Sand. And I'm just going to be covering all the blemishes that I have on my face just to give it extra coverage. And we are going to be taking my e.l.f. Beauty Blender, and we are just going to be blending everything out. So after all that concealer is blended out, I am going to be taking my Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation in the shade 65 Neutral, Medium Neutral, and I am taking a Luxie foundation brush. It's just like a flat-ended brush, and I like using this before I go in with a beauty blender because I feel like it just distributes the foundation evenly. And I also like to spray setting spray all over my face before I go in with the beauty blender as well, because it just makes it easier to blend everything all together. And typically I usually start with my foundation first, or work on my face first before I work on my eyes, but sometimes I like to switch it up and do my eyes first before I do my whole face routine. Going in with that same concealer shade, we are going to be taking it in the inner corner, down the sides of my nose, a little bit around the nose, and then we're going to wing it out, and then put it like on the bottom of my lip and on my chin. And I like to do my concealer in sections because this concealer it kind of dries really fast. So that's why I like to section it off. And I place my concealer the way I do because it's kind of like a reverse contour on the bottom, like where I'm blending right now. And it just reduces my usage of my concealer. I really don't use that much concealer or like using that much concealer, which is why I found this routine a whole lot better for me. And it kind of just makes you look lifted. So that's another reason why I like to use this method of placing my concealer. And with the same e.l.f. sponge we use for our foundation, I'm just going to be blending out my concealer as well. So after that concealer is all blended out, I am going to be taking my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Loose Face Setting Powder in the shade Banana. I am taking that on a different beauty blender though. This is by Luxie. It does have like a pointed side, and then on the other end it's like a flat top. I really do enjoy this powder. It doesn't make you look any like cakey or anything, and the beauty blender doesn't lift any of that up, so it makes it blend evenly. And after I'm done placing the powder and patting everything down, I like to take a fluffy face brush and I like to dust the excess powder off and make sure that everything is all blended together. Going in with my Morphe 8H highlight and contour palette, I'm going to be taking the shade Blogger. And the brush I'm going to be using to place that shade down is a contour brush by Billion Dollar Brushes. And I usually just pat it on and give it like an outline as to where I want the contour shade to be. And then I will blend it upwards and in a circular motion just so that it blends evenly with the highlight shade. And I wouldn't say that I really contour, I just use this shade as like a bronzer. Or I guess kind of like a mixture of both, because once I place it down, that's kind of like the contour part, but once I start brushing it upwards, it's kind of like the bronzer part. This contour shade is so pretty and it is so perfect for the fall. You could also use it for like the summer too, because it gives you that like bronzy vibe type of thing. And I typically just place it on my cheeks and then on my chin, my nose of course. And I really don't need to use it on my forehead, but I use it anyway. But I don't use like a whole lot, or I don't bring it down so much to where it would make my forehead look a little weird. So moving on to my nose contour, which I am very particular about. I like to place it like where I'm placing it right now, underneath the nose, and then I'll kind of like angle it up to give it like kind of like a pointy effect, I guess I'll say. And then I will place it kind of like on the sides above like my nose ring, and then later on I'll be connecting those two. And then I usually like to place it on the sides of my nose as well, kind of connecting them to like my eyebrows. And then after I am done like placing everything down, I will blend everything out just so that everything is not as harsh as it looks in the beginning. So now that we are done contouring our face, we are just going to be baking with our NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop loose face setting powder in the shade Banana, and we're just going to be going in on the places that we highlighted, but we're just going to be leaving the powder on there for about a couple minutes, so like maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And I usually take the flat-ended brush, not the brush, the flat-ended side, and kind of shape out like where my nose contour is, like the sides, and then I will kind of wing it out as well. And same with my cheekbones, like underneath, I'll use the flat end to kind of carve them out, just to give it more of like a structured look. But in the end, we're going to blend everything out. Going in with our Ace Beauty Scarlet Dusk eyeshadow palette, we're going to be taking that shade Crimson, and it's like a peach orange shade, and we're just going to be taking that as our blush. And I did say eyeshadow palette, but I typically do use this palette as my blush. I'll either take this shade or I will use the Bahama shade, which is more pink. Or I'll even mix the two together, just depending on like what makeup look that I'm trying to go for. But this is very good as a blush. As you can see, it is very pigmented, so a little definitely goes a long way. And I am taking that on my Equal Tools brush. I believe it's a face powder brush. I got this a couple years back at Walmart. It came in like a small travel size kit. So it came with this one and then like 3 other eye brushes. I'm not really sure if Walmart still sells the little travel kit anymore. If you want to go check out your local Walmart and double check to see if they have it, then I would recommend it. As you can see, it is a pretty versatile brush. I do use it for pretty much everything, like just to blend everything out. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. So, and if you don't see it in like the little travel pack, I would just recommend you buying it itself. But moving on to our highlighter. So this is probably like my favorite part of my makeup routine. It's just adding the highlighter. Highlighter today we are taking the Gilded Honey by Laura Geller. This has become one of my favorite highlighters since I received it in my BoxyCharm, and I haven't stopped using it since. It just gives me that like nice golden glow, and that's what I really like. Another one of my favorites would be the Morphe one in the shade Beam. It's also in the contour highlight palette that I have. It's a really pretty color as well. It's kind of similar to this one, but probably more like on the glittery side. Not too glittery, but just like enough. I don't really like my highlighters to have like that glittery um effect on it. I like my highlighters to be more like melted in the skin and like blended with everything. But the brush that we are using, I don't think I mentioned it, but we are using the Morphe M504 highlighter brush. This is a really good highlighter brush. The bristles on the brush are very soft, and it makes it easier for the blending process. And it's also small enough for it to get on the areas to be highlighted. And right now we are just using that other face brush that we used before and just blending everything out. And for my inner corner highlight, I typically just like to use my finger. Sometimes I'll use like a small brush, like a small concealer brush, and apply my highlighter, but most of the time I'll be using my finger. Last minute touches, I do take my e.l.f. liquid eyeliner and just add back my beauty marks, or as some people would probably call them moles, but I personally call them beauty marks. Moving on to our lips, we are taking our Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Voyager. And this is what just brings the fall look together. I feel like fall is more of like darker lips. I didn't have like a lip liner that would match this look, or like, you know, just a little bit darker, so I just ended up using the applicator itself. I don't really mind using the applicator as like a lip liner. It, especially with this one, because the applicator is like pointy at the end and then it kind of like flattens out. It's a really pretty color. I honestly thought it was going to be darker than what it's showing, but I actually didn't mind it at all. I've never used this color before. It has more of like a pink red undertone instead of like a purple plum shade, and the purple plum shade is what I was originally going for this fall look, but I didn't really mind how the lip color came out, because in the end, as you'll see, it all came together. I will say the formula is a bit runny, so if you're gonna be applying it, I would say just use a little at a time. I kind of went in with it, so it kind of just got all over the place, and it did kind of get on my teeth a little bit, so just be aware and just be cautious of it leaving a little bit on your teeth. I don't want y'all to be going out there looking busted with a little bit of lipstick on your teeth, because we all know that looking, it ain't it. So just be cautious about that. But other than that, the formula is really great. It's very lightweight as well. It feels like there's nothing on your lips. But the thing I don't like about it is that it is very hard to come off, especially with like a makeup wipe. It did take me a minute for me to take off the lip color, but other than that, it does stay in place. I can't really be mad about it. I mean, it did live up to the name Superstay. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know and just be aware that it does take a minute for it to come off. So we are towards the end of this look. As you can see, my makeup is all done and I am feeling myself a whole lot, especially with these eyebrows. I am coming out with an eyebrow routine, so stay on the lookout for that. My hair is not done, as you can tell, but we're just going with it because the song that was playing is pretty lit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you guys give this a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit those bell notifications just so you guys get notified when I upload a new video. But until next time, bye!